Homish and Rashi, the Torah portion, Lech-Lecha, we're living with Avram, Abraham, the first Jew, a whole week. We continue with him going down to Egypt, if you recall, yesterday, because of the famine in Canaan. And he tells his wife, say that you're my sister, that way I will live and get gifts. We continue with the narrative. Okay. So we are in chapter 12, verse number 14. Vayhi, and it occurred, Kivoy, when he came, Avram, Mitzrayma, to Egypt, Yiru HaMitzrim, and they saw the Egyptians, Esa Isha, they saw the woman, meaning his wife, Ki Yafa Hi Ma'oi, that she is very beautiful. That was his concern, right? If you recall. Rashi, number 14. But it occurred when Avram came to Egypt. Right? So what's the problem over here? What's Rashi's problem? What do you mean when he came? They came. What's it he came? Right? It should have said when they came to Egypt. What does this teach us? He hid her in a box. He was smuggling her into Egypt, hoping that this way, they wouldn't see. And because the Egyptians claimed custom duties, they opened the box where always suddenly saw her.
Already then.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
The tariffs.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. This was 100% tariff.
Yeah.
Not a 10%.
Very costly. Oh, it's 130. He's raised it. Well,
Verse number 15. Vayiru saw, and they saw her, Sarai, Parai, the officials of Parai, the Haloisa, and they praised her, El Paro, to Parai. The Tukach, she was taken, Haisha, the woman, Beis Paro, to the house of Parai. Rashi, in number 15, Vialu Isa El Parai, and they lauded her, they praised her to Parai. Halalu Beinehim, they lauded her among themselves. Loimar, Vialu Isa. They lauded her amongst themselves, saying, Haguna Zu Lamela, that this is fit for the king. She should go to the king. Right? It doesn't say they lauded her to him, but Yahalalu Isa. No, it says El Parai. It's between them, El Parai, concerning Parai. Okay. 16. Ula Avram, and to Avram, as he said, if you recall, Heitiv ba'avura, they did good because of her. V'hilai, and it was for him as a gift given to him. Tzoin, sheep, ubakar, and cattle, v'chamayrim, and donkeys, v'abadim, and male servants, v'shvaches, and female servants, v'aisaines, and female donkeys, v'gmalim, and camels. Rashi will Avram Heitiv. Excuse me. They treated him well. Parai treated Avram well. Bavura, because of her, Nosan Loi Matanus, he gave him gifts. Yeah. Okay. 17. Verse number 7. V'inaga Hashem es pare negoyim gedolim. V'yinaga, it comes from the word like to touch, but here to touch with an affliction, Hashem, right, with an affliction, es pare, to pare negoyim gedolim, with a severe plagues, vel beisai, and to his entire household, Aldvar Sarai, concerning Sarai, Eishes Avram, the wife of Avram. Rashi in 17. The Yinaga Hashem, and Hashem afflicted, B'makis Ra'asan Laka. He was stricken with an affliction called Rasan, a skin disease. She'atash mishkash aloi, that makes relations difficult because of the skin disease. Mm-hmm. Okay. So the commentators want to say, because how did he know? Because he had that she was a wife, because he was afflicted with something that he wouldn't be able to have relations. So he deduced from it. Ves Beisai and his entire household understood Kitargumoi, she understood according to Unclus's understanding, Val Enish Beisa, and upon the members of the household. Or Midrashe, but the Midrashic interpretation is a Rabbis Solov, to include the walls, Amudav, and his pillars, Vikelav, and the implements. Interesting. I'm not clear why Rashi would bring this. Like, why would he bring a medrash over here that is completely not the simple meaning, right? To include that there was, I mean, we do know about skin disease, teras, right? That it is also on the house. Yes. When we know that, but first of all, that's not now. That's later on in Vayikra, right? So, like, why would he bring this down? What's wrong with the first explanation that is so simple that it means his household? What would be wrong with that?
He said Beito. You wanted to include the house, where you might think it's just the content of like the people of the house. But he's adding that it's actually the house itself as well.
Right. I understand what it's saying, but why would you give a midrashic interpretation when Beis means so often household, right? The simple meaning. Why do you need the second explanation? What's lacking in the first one that you need the second one that is totally not the simple meaning, right?
The house itself. The utensil and all the content.
Yeah, I don't think you're hearing what I'm saying. You're not hearing what I'm saying. Let me repeat it. Let me repeat it. Rashi, the fact that he gives a second explanation means that there's something wrong with the first explanation, then he needs a second explanation. Otherwise, he doesn't need a second explanation. So he's giving a second explanation. What's wrong with the first one that you need to say the second one? That's not the simple meaning, because he's calling it midrash, right? He's not the simple one. So my question is, what does he need the second one for when the first one is simply understood? That's all. So I understand what it's saying, but why would Rashi have to say that? And especially, he's not quoting it as a simple meaning. He's quoting it as medrash. So then my question is just why? No? Is that clearer now?
No, you're not hearing what I'm saying.
How so?
I'm saying that the first simple meaning is that you might think it's just the people in the house, not the house itself. So he wants to bring the midrash to add the house to the explanation.
I understand that, but that doesn't explain my question. That doesn't explain my question.
Okay.
That doesn't explain my question. That still has a question on it. It's still a question. What is bothering Rashi with the first explanation that he needs to have a second explanation? Rashi does not. Well, how's it not clear? Beisai usually means your household. It does not mean your physical home. Usually, it doesn't mean that.
Exactly.
Right. So,
People.
right. So, but that's the first explanation. So you don't need the second one.
You do
It-
it
Why?
because you're adding the house itself, not the
No, but
people.
this, I understand that, but that's not, but no, okay.
Yeah, never
No,
mind. That's
no, let's go further.
agree
But
to
no,
disagree.
but that's not how Rashi. That's not how you Rashi is to be learned. If Rashi is giving a second explanation, it's because there's something wrong with the first explanation. What's wrong with it? That he needs a second one, right? What's difficult with it? Not wrong with it. What's difficult? Not that wrong's the wrong word. What's difficult with it?
I don't
So
think there's difficulty. It's just adding to it.
no, that's
It's
not.
lacking that.
That's not the way the Rebbe learns Rashi. That's not the principle of Rashi. The way the Rebbe learns Rashi. The way the Rebbe learns Rashi is not that way. Maybe others do, but not the Rebbe. The
Okay.
Rebbe, if he says a principle in Rashi, if he gives a second explanation, is because there's something lacking in the first explanation. So my question is what? What's lacking there? That he needs to give the second explanation. That's my question. And that's based on, and also what makes it difficult is he's not saying that that's the simple meaning. Based on, he's saying it's a medrash. That's not simple meaning. So that makes it even more difficult. Why would you bring medrash when you have simple meaning? So it means there has to be something that's lacking in the first explanation, that therefore that forces him to bring the second explanation. My question, what is that? That's all.
That Sarat was the result. Lech-Lecha.
Well, no, no, I said, but that makes it even more difficult because it's not here. Here it says a nega doesn't necessarily, it's a skin disease, doesn't mean it was tsaras. It could have been another disease. Could have been something else. It's not saying it was tsaras. It's saying a nega means an affliction, right? It was an affliction, but it doesn't say that it's tsaras. It's a skin disease. I'm not certain that that's what it is.
Onkelos is saying clearly that these are people. Enash.
Huh?
Enash Beitar. Onkelos, it's really referring to people.
Yeah.
Enash.
That's what he's saying. The first explanation. Yeah, exactly. The first explanation.
Okay. Let's move on.
Okay. 18. Oh, sorry, no. Didn't I know we get the last Rashi. Al Davar Sarah. Because of the matter of Sarah, Alpi Dibura. So Rashi, look at the way the Rashi is learning over here. Right? The way I learned it concerning Al Davar means on the matter of. Rashi, the word Davar means thing, matter, and also means word. Rashi is taking it literally as word, on the word of Sarah. Look what Rashi says. Al pi dibura, by her word, oimeres malach, she would say to the angel, hach, strike, v'humake, and he would strike. Strike with what? With the disease, with the nega, with the affliction. So Rashi's taking the word here, like you wouldn't, I didn't translate it that way, right? Because on the matter, on the thing of Sarah, concerning Sarah, right? No, literally on the word of Sarah. That's how Rashi is learning.
And the whole conversation was an angel.
Yeah.
Wow.
By the way, that just points out, I just want to point out over here, this points out the power of tzaddikim. Righteous people, they control. They're in control. That's what happened yesterday. I mentioned that yesterday, right? Why wasn't Avram worried? I mean, why he hit her then, I don't know. But, right,
Wow.
how does that fit in? I'm not certain. But he wasn't worried because she is a righteous woman and nothing can happen to her without her permission. And she'll be okay, right? That's as we learned yesterday, right? Verse number.
She wasn't just protected, she was actively
in control.
no?
Actively in control. Exactly. Tzaddikim are actively in control. Tzaddik geyser HaKadosh Baruch Hu mekayim. A tzaddik. This is where I don't know if this is where one of the proofs is, but the Talmud tells us that a righteous person makes a decree and God fulfills it. Where do we see that? Right here. 18. Vayikra Parai leAvram, and he called Parai to Avraham. Yeah, we're good, folks. If you're following, you're not good. You're great. Yikra Parai, and he called Parai Avram to Avram, but Yomer, and he said to him, Mazos, what is this, Asisali, that you did to me? Lama, why? Lo higadetili. Why didn't you tell me, Ki ishtachahi, that it's your wife? How does he know that it's his wife? How does he know? I just gave it away before in Rashi. Huh? What? I just gave it away in Rashi. That's why it was specifically something that had, Rashi said, the verse says of Zanega. A nega means an affliction. Doesn't say where. But he said that he couldn't have relations with her because of it. How does Rashi know that? Because now he's saying this is your wife. So it had to be that was an affliction that affected him, that he couldn't assault her, right? Yeah. He figured. I mean, these people. You have to understand. Back in the day, they understood that something's happening. There's a reflection of something greater. So he understood that. Therefore, no. She's someone I can't have relations with. He got that message. I can't. Well, how can I not have relations? Obviously, she's not the sister. She's the wife. And that's why he says this now. Because where does this come out of left field? Why should he say that? Right? Follow?
Yeah. You had a certain wisdom to at least make that connection.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Number 19. Lama Marta, why did you say Achesihi, that she's your sister? I took her, Lisha, for a wife. Which he was free to do that. Why was he free to take her as a wife? How come? Because if you remember Rambam, when we learned the laws of marriage, that he explains that back in the day, only in Judaism is there a concept of marriage, right? Till Torah came, there was no concept of marriage. Well, it was, you went into the market and you saw a woman and you were interested and she was interested, took them, common law, finished, you just took, right? That's a regular person. The king, first choice, and has whoever he wants, right? That's whatever he wants. So it was rightful in the law of the land the way it was back in the day. But that's only if it's a sister and not a wife, right? A wife that belongs to somebody else. I mean, unless you kill the guy, right? That's what he was afraid of, right? Then she's free, right? Killing was okay, but to take someone not already, that's already, not appropriate. Yeah. Vata, now, hine, behold, ishacha, kach v'lech. It's your wife, take and go. Skedaddle. Number 19 in Rashi, kach v'lech, take her and go, loik Avimelech. Why Rashi says this, I don't know, because this is going to be later on. We're going to have the same incident where Avimelech took Sarah, right? Not unlike Avimelech Amar Loi, that he said to him, behold, the land is before you, settle on wherever you see fit to settle in the land. In other words, he gave him, he was, an appropriate person, and he gave him land. El Amar Loi, but Paro said to him, Lech al tamay, go, don't linger here. Why? As Avram said earlier, because the Egyptians are steeped in lewdness. Shenemar, as it says in the discharge of horses is their discharge. And others are like animals. They're like animals. And therefore, if you're going to stick around here, he didn't offer him land, as Avimelech did, because Avimelech was his people were more menschlich, were more decent, but the Egyptians, they were lewd. And therefore, don't stay here because you're going to have trouble for your wife further. Got it? Vitzav and Paro and Vitzav Allah, and he commanded upon him and Parai Anashim, men, Vishalchu Isai, and he sent them with him, Es Ishtai and his wife, Es Kol Asher Loi, and all that was his. Rashi, V'itzav Allah, and power commanded upon him, Al Oidaisa L'Shalchai, to send him off, L'Shamroi, to protect him. So, right, because what he just said, the Egyptians over here, they're unsavory people, so he needs protection, so he sent them off with. Vishalchai, and he sent them off. This should be under Qatar Guma, their unkelis. They Viu, they escorted him. Livui, which is like Levi, means to escort. So he was escorted. So it's interesting. So Parai, he was recognized. First of all, he recognized the affliction, why that came, right? Secondly, he recognizes that they're holy people, right? So he's got to send them off, and that they shouldn't have any trouble over here. These are obviously not regular people, and therefore he sends them off with people that will protect them on the way. Fascinating. Okay, chapter 13, verse number 1. No, by the fact that he got afflicted in a way that he couldn't have relations, he understood that what that meant. He understood that this is not a sister that is free for the taking, because God didn't allow him to take her. He understood that. Hmm?
Yeah, but he was really nice to don't kill the husband.
Because now he recognizes they're holy people. They're holy people, so he's not going to kill them.
Bad to lie like that.
Huh?
It's not bad to lie, because in fact Abraham lied.
No, he didn't lie, because they're really worse. She was his relative. She was a niece. He married his niece, which is like a sister in halacha. So he didn't lie. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Chapter 13, verse number 1. Shimeleib, you're with us. Shimeleib, come closer. So come closer. Come here.
Harder to leave when I'm there.
We're almost finished anyways. Okay. Verse number 1 here. V'yal, and he went up. He ascended. Avram in Mitzrayim. Avram from Egypt, he went up. Who? Him. V'ishta and his wife. V'chol asher loy, and all that belonged to him, meaning his possessions. V'loy timoy, and Loit is his nephew, was with him. Hanegba, to the south. Okay, Rashi. Yal Avram, and Avram went Hanegba to the south. Now, what does it mean to the south? He didn't go southerly. How come? Because in Egypt, you're not going south to, you're going up, right? Or you're going, either you're going east, you're going east, or you're going north, but you're not going south. So Rashi said to the south of Israel. When it says south, here means to the south of Israel. Is east, north, right? To the south of the land of Israel, as it says above, they was traveling to the south, Maria, to the Mount Maria, nonetheless, when one goes in Mitzrayim, Canaan, from Egypt to the land of Canaan, he's going from south to north, Mitzrayim, rather, the land of Egypt, Israel is in the south of the land of Israel. Is demonstrated in the travels in the boundaries of the land. The Avraham kaved ma'od, and Avraham was very heavy. Miknah, with cattle, with livestock, Bakesef, with money, Ubezahav, and with gold, silver and gold. Rashi kaved ma'od, very heavy. Ta'on ma'asos, meaning laden with baggage. He had a lot of camels and that were holding onto baggage and money and all the different things. Right? He had a lot of stuff. Verse number 3, Lech-Lecha, and he went on his journeys, Minegev, from the south, Ad Beis Kale to Beis Kale, Ad Malkum, until the place, Asher Hayasham Ayalai, that to the place that was there, his tent, Batchila, in the beginning. Remember, before he went to Egypt, this is where he was originally. In Beis Kale, Ben Ai, and between Beis Kale and AI. This is as Yannick said, the original AI invention is right now, right here. Here, if you want to see, here's Jerusalem. Here's Beis Kale. Here is where he pitched his tent. Here's Shechem is up here. Okay. So he's north of Jerusalem. Rashi in verse number 3. And he proceeded on his journeys. When he returned from Egypt to the land of Canaan, he would go and stay overnight in the lodging that he stayed overnight when he went to Egypt. So the Torah is coming to teach us here proper conduct. What is that? That a person should not change from lodging. In other words, don't use the. If you went to Motel 6, go back to Motel 6, right? Don't go to the Hilton afterwards when you come back, just because you got a lot of money now, right? Don't go to the Hilton just because, right? You got more money now. This is the way you traveled when you went. On your way back, go to the same place. Yeah. Why is that important? I have no idea why that should be. Rashi, how does Rashi know this? Where does Rashi get this from? Because he went on his journeys. What do you mean? We just said that in the previous verse that he went back. He went to the south of Israel. So what do you have to tell me? He went on his journeys. In other words, just as he went on his journey going, so he went on his journey going back. What does that mean?
Well,
obviously, no, it doesn't mean the same. It doesn't mean merely the same route, because then what's the Torah teaching me there? Nothing. It's telling me that go to the Motel 6 that you went on the way down when you didn't have enough money because it was a famine. You're coming back home with riches. Go back to Motel 6.
Is that a halacha?
all right.
I don't think it's an halacha. I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
Because if you had, let's say, a bad experience someplace, you probably don't want to.
No, okay, that's we're not talking about bad experience, right?
Yeah.
So, davar acher, alternative explanation, because like, why would that be an important thing to do? Well, why not go to a Hilton? Why not go to another place? Well, like, why not? Right? So Rashi is giving a second explanation, because it also, when he returned, he paid his debts. In other words, he went down, he was poor. He didn't have, it was a famine, right? So he owed money, seemingly, right? Seemingly. Again, remember, how do we know this? How do we know this? Because the verse is superfluous, right? But remember, we're learning Chumash. We're not learning ideas here. So it has to be, in the Chumash, has to be something that's telling me this. How's it telling me? He went on his journeys. What do you mean went on his journeys? Obviously, we just said that he went back to Canaan, so he journeyed. What do you tell? You're repeating something there's no reason to repeat it. So it wants to tell me something. So the first explanation is go back to Motel 6. Second explanation, I'm actually not satisfied with that, because why do you have to do that? Maybe. I don't know if that's the reason. I'm not certain. My estimation, but right, is to tell me that because he went down, he was poor. He's going back on his journeys to pay back debts that he had, that he owed money. He owed money because he couldn't pay when he went down and journeyed to Egypt. He came, I guess, nice people, didn't make him do the dishes to pay back the debt. Right? And now he's paying back the debt.
You think he followed the same route if he's paying back the debt?
Then for sure. Remember, it says here he went on his journeys. Obviously, he went on his journeys, because we just said that. So what do you mean he went on his journey? Again, first explanation is he went back to Motel 6. Second explanation, no, he went on his journeys on the way he went as he journeyed previously. Both of them means previously, right? The question is just what was the previous? Is it previous to back same place or just to pay back the debt, right? Because he didn't have, there was a famine and he didn't have previously and now he could pay. Right, which then tells us why previously it says that he went with his what he amassed the wealth. What do you have to tell us about the wealth? What was the point of the wealth? Because he didn't. But one of two things: either as just because you have wealth, don't change your don't change from Motel 6, or that because of the wealth now he was able to pay back what he owed. Wow. Minegev, Rashi, from the south, Eretz Mitzrayim, the land of Egypt, Eretz Canaan is in the south of the land of Canaan. Okay. Verse number 4. I hope that you're able to see from what I'm teaching, I hope I'm teaching this well, that you're understanding not the idea, but how it's learned from the verse. That's the point of Rashi. Otherwise, we're not learning properly. We're getting maybe an idea, but we're not understanding the process. And the whole point over here is the process, right? The idea comes from the process, not there's an idea and now we go through a process. No, the process is what brings up the idea, right?
Learning to learn, like
Well,
knowing how to.
Well, yeah, understanding the process of Rashi is then coming up with the idea. Okay? Again, so how was the idea here? What was the process here? This is superfluous to say that he went on his travels when we just finished saying that he came to Canaan, right? So from there, oh, what is it coming to tell me? It's coming to tell me something. So two possibilities, as we just learned. Okay, last verse for today. Yeah. El Mokum Hamizbeah, to the place of the altar, Asher Asa Sham, that he made there, Barishena, in the beginning. Remember, he already in I, right? He made an altar, an AI altar. Look at that. V'yikra Sham, and he called there Avram b'Shem Hashem. He called there in the name of God. Rashi, Asher Asa Sham b'Rishona, they made there first. Asher Kara Sham Avram b'Shem Hashem, that Avram invoked God's name. It's also possible to say that this verse means V'yikra Sham Achshav b'Shem Hashem, that he invoked there now Hashem by name. Mikra Sham. And there's two interpretations here. Either it means that he's invoking God by name when he first erected the altar earlier, or that he invoked God by name the second time now when he returned to it.
The same thing. He did it before, he was doing it now.
Or this is the first time he's doing it.
Why is it first?
The second explanation. That's the second explanation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's quickly see if we have something here. Nothing.
Why would he do a mizbeach and not call Hashem?
What do you mean?
And why Achshav exclude the first time?
How does he get that? That's a good question. Oh, Hmm. It seems to be that the word Bari Shaina could go two ways. At first, what was original, or Bari Shaina is now the first. Now it's the first.
Now would be La Rishona, not Barishona.
Bari Shaina means in the first.
Barishona means past. La Rishona is now.
I don't know.
Then, let's see, at first, and then later on.
After we use it.
Yeah.
What could be a possibility?
It's not there.
You heard what she said?
Mhm.
She's saying that maybe the first time he just built it,
Right.
and now he actually used it.
Or no, he invoked God's name. Even though, but it said, I think it said last time also, V'yikra b'Shem Hashem. Let's see the difference in the words. V'yiven sham mizbeach in verse number 7 in chapter 12. La Hashem anirei elav. Yeah, it says it just built. It doesn't say that he called out in God's name. No, it says in the next verse, V'yikra b'Shem Hashem, and he called out in God's name. In verse number 8, it does say that.
Question is it referring to the first time or the second time?
I don't know.
Did the Rebbe say anything about it?
No.
Okay.
So the word Lech-Lecha, Rashi said, if you remember yesterday, the name of the parsha, he said Lahanoscha Latoivoscha, for your benefit, your pleasure, your benefit, and for your good. So the Rebbe explains what's the difference between for your benefit and for your good. So benefit is something more immediate, right? More hana is pleasure. Benefit here is pleasure. Pleasure is something immediate, right? That's a concept, right? Good is something more long term, right? Something more long term, after time, right? So what does that mean over here in this? That Avram, right? That so what is the immediate benefit? Is he's leaving Haran, which is the anger spot of the world, right? Which a place of avodah zarah, of idolatry. In addition to this, there'll be good things that will come out in the future, the blessings that will come out that Avram is being blessed with, that I'm going to make you into a great nation. Oh, interesting how just to play on those two words, brings out the both ideas.
There was an immediate benefit to leave that place.
Immediate benefit that you're leaving a place of the anger spot of the world, a place where there's idolatry, So that's a immediate benefit, right?
Leaving-
But what's important in particular is that it's bringing out the two ideas of right of what does it mean benefit? The